Welcome to the highlights of the opening day of the Boxing Day Test between Australia and the West Indies. It's being played at the MCG and it'll be watched by a crowd of somewhere around about 40,000. Tony Greig reported that the pitch was in very, very good shape, and these were the teams announced by the two skippers at the toss. There's Alan Border as skipper. He's back after the hamstring injury. Taylor Boone, the two Wars, Martin, Healy, Warne, Hughes, McDermott and Whitney, with Matthews, 12th man, Warne in for his leg spinning. And the West Indian side, Richie Richardson, captain, Haynes, Simmons, Lara, Arthurton, Hooper, Adams, Bishop, Ambrose, Williams, Walsh and Logie is the 12th man. Well, Alan Border, the Australian captain, won the toss, decided to bat on the very, very good-looking strip, very hard and dry. Looked as though there were plenty of runs there, and we join it in the 6th over. It's none for 6, and the bowler coming in is Ian Bishop. He's bowling to David Boone. Your commentators are Bill Laurie and Tony Greig.
That's the view from stump vision, straight down the ground. It's the fast bowler coming there.
Good shot. Quite hot, getting in the middle, but pulled it away safely. It could run 4 here. It's a one boundary. That's good running, 4 all run.
Yes, well, that's a good shot from Boone. He's indicated his intentions. He'll pop those bounces up at me and I'm going to hook them, especially if there's no one back there, and that's exactly what he did. He didn't quite latch onto it. He got underneath it a little bit, but he got it away okay. There's no one back there, so he's perfectly safe, and that ended up in an all-run 4.
Good shot. Get over the top. It's going all the way for 4. Fine shot from David Boone. Good positive stroke. It's no wicket for 14.
11 to David Boone, 4 to Mark Taylor. I thought at first they might be Rastafarian hats, but not quite the right colours for the Rastas. Oh, and that's very nearly gone onto the stumps. I think it must have hit Mark Taylor's boot.
Phil Simmons, I remember him getting a wicket in a one-day game with a similar delivery.
Been close with a direct hit. Arthurton is so quick. He gets around onto his throwing hand as well as anyone I've seen in years.
Mark Taylor not quite so quick off the mark. A direct hit here would have had Mark Taylor struggling. One thing Phil Simmons has been able to do here is bowl a good line and length, keep some pressure on, which will help the other 3 pace bowlers. Arthurton again, there's confusion out in the middle. Mark Taylor's in trouble this time. Very close, good piece of fielding again by Keith Arthurton, and well taken by Phil Simmons, getting back to the stumps as quickly as he could in his follow through. Australia none for 26. Very good piece of fielding there as well. Simmons is a little bit disappointed with what happened at the end of the last over. Simmons ran back to the stumps, broke the stumps. Umpire Colin Timmins has given Mark Taylor the benefit of the doubt. And Mark Taylor now plays one of the few aggressive shots that he has played this morning. David Boone has hit some boundaries, but Mark Taylor has been pretty well tied down.
Bad crowd in at the moment, be pushing up towards 30,000. The inevitable comparisons with the 75 here for the one-day game.
Phil Simmons gets through Mark Taylor's defence, none for 33. As we see a change in bowling from the southern end, the introduction of Carl Hooper into the attack. A loud appeal. There's quite a bit of excitement from the West Indian fielders. David Boone doesn't look all that interested. More importantly for him, Cole Timmins doesn't look very interested.
Lots of shouts from behind the wicket and close in fielders.
24 overs have been bowled, none for 38, so the runs have been hard to come by. More shouting and screaming.
Umpire's ears are constantly assailed with that. But not a problem there. Brian Lara has taken that. Mark Taylor has gone. And he's getting a bit of a serve, I'd say, from one or two of the players as he goes. A couple of backward glances there.
Courtney Walsh has the first success, cutting a bit close to the body, Mark Taylor, and perhaps a bit too full. A good catch by Brian Lara, was going quickly. So Courtney Walsh takes his 50th wicket against Australia. And some of the frustration of the morning session disappears with Mark Taylor for the West Indies. He's gone for 13, Australia 1 for 38. Steve Waugh in his 46th test comes out to replace Mark Taylor, whilst in the commentary position David Gower and Bill Lawry move in.
Oh, there it is. Catch, it's a cry. He was dug it in short. Steve Waugh half jumping, half pushing to the onside. There's a short leg, a bat pad as well, but it didn't carry. Steve Waugh launches into the big cover drive there. Beats cover point Arthurton. Pick up 3. So one wonders here whether Richie Richardson's made a brew, knocking in Curtly Ambrose into the attack. This once Steve Waugh gets away, he's a damaging player.
So one or two little scares through the morning. Some very ardent appealing from the West Indies. One for a catch behind from David Boone off Carl Hooper.
Steve Waugh goes over the top. Launches into Carl Hooper. That's going to be 4. That brings up the 50. So Richie Richardson just allowing Steve Waugh to gain some confidence here. That was a fine stroke. Could have been out. It was a glove or the back of the bat. Healy was caught by Brian Lara in the Brisbane Test match. 2 off the bat. Interesting over. 1 for 53. Getting close to the luncheon break. The umpires will walk in when they're in position. We'll watch the clock. It's gone to 1 o'clock. So the umpires will now take lunch. So lunch on the first day. Australia are 1 for 57.
Commentary box, Michael Holding waits, and alongside him is Tony Gregg.
He's gone for the pull shot. Again, it's gone high up in the air and dropped down into that vacant area of mid-wicket. Let's see if they'll come back for the 3rd. There's 3 more to Boone. He's definitely signalled his intentions. Anything short is going to go. He's got that away beautifully. with a back foot and a lovely hook shot played down into the ground there. And so Boone gets himself 3. This is right off the meat of the bat.
There it is. David Boone is on 38. Steve Waugh 26. The man out was Mark Taylor on 13. 1 for 81 in the 41 overs. Steve Waugh has picked up a boundary here. The outfield is fairly slow, but he's hit that one well. He's picked the gap, and the timing was perfect.
Steve Waugh has been the most enterprising of the 3 Australian batsmen so far. He's been on the lookout the whole time he's been there for anything that's slightly loose. And on that occasion, perfect timing and placement.
David Boone just getting himself into a little bit of a tangle.
That's almost looked like it hit the stump. Gone very, very close to the stump, off stump. In fact, it's just brushed the right leg, and that's what's kept it away from the stump.
That was the shot he was trying to play earlier in the over. And that brings up the 50 partnership between Boone and Stephen Waugh. Steve Waugh a little bit confused there, said yes. David Boone responded, and then it was no, no, no. No third man, so it'll be at least 2 runs. Carl Hooper is doing the chasing, and they'll come back for 3. Brings up the 100. 1 for 100 Australia, having won the toss. Alan Border won the toss and elected to bat. David Boone has been there from the start of the day, and he's the one that brings up the 100th run.
Curtly Ambrose, 51 wickets against Australia at an average of 21.85. Not so much those sort of stats, but down the bottom, he's got to know that Curtly Ambrose is very successful against 2 men in this Australian batting lineup, Alan Border and Steve Waugh. Those are the sorts of things you need to know.
That's one of the reasons why he's a danger man for Steve Waugh. Brian Lara dives away to his right. The umpire's unsighted. He's referring to his colleague at square leg. The ball definitely hit the edge of the bat. Brian Lara dived away to his right. The question he will be asking is, did it carry? If it did, Steve Waugh is on his way.
And he got the nod from Cole Timmins. Steve Randall went over there to Cole Timmins, and there was a nod of the head. Steve Randall didn't actually put the finger up. He just nodded at Steve Waugh. So Brian Lara having to come a long way forward to complete that catch. And he has come a long way forward. That's a very good catch by Brian Lara at first slip. You saw that Carl Hooper was quite happy that the young man had taken the catch. And certainly the bowler claiming it quite fiercely. Brian Lara is gesturing there to the square leg umpire. So Steve Waugh out to Curtly Ambrose for 38. It's 2 for 100.
Mark Waugh comes in to replace his brother Steve. This is his 16th Test match. 797 runs at an average of 34. Mark Waugh is off the mark. So 3 runs and a wicket in that over. Australia 2 for 102.
In between overs there, I think he told David Boone that he had caught it.
Brian Lara has had a very good start to his Test career in regard to catches, and that's the 1,000 runs for David Boone in Test matches against the West Indies.
There's been a change at the southern end. Courtney Walsh, who bowled from the members' end this morning, returns. That could be out as well. It's gone. David Boone caught behind. David Boone will not be happy with that shot. He's played very well all day again. This is a loose shot outside the off stump. A very quick success for Courtney Walsh coming back into the attack. And Richard Richardson delighted with his change of tactics.
All the advantage with the West Indies now, because this is a very, very good batting track. And the Australians have lost 3 wickets on it. We're only partway through the second session. Williams the catcher, Courtney Walsh the wicket taker, Boone 46, and it's 3 for 104.
This is a useful period for the West Indies now in this game. Brings Damien Martin to the crease, 21 years old, playing now his 2nd Test match. Just over the top of Phil Simmons, in a deep position at the gully there. Mark Waugh taking on Courtney Walsh. He'll get 3 runs for it. Mark Waugh always keen to play his shots, to show his own natural aggression. And again, off the edge. This time there'll be 4 runs. There's no man at 3rd man. It's gone wide of 2nd slip, up and over the slip area. A fair crowd at the MCG watching this first day of the Boxing Day Test. 45,000 in, watching Curtly Ambrose bowling at Damien Martin.
Brilliant. Brilliant. What a good catch. Just dragged from nowhere by Philip Simmons. Absolutely wonderful. Damien Martin, the batsman.
He's cut this ball away quite fiercely. And Phil Simmons has made this look extraordinarily easy. Damien Martin on his way back. He can hardly believe what's happened. He's out for 7. Caught Simmons off the bowling of Curtly Ambrose. It's been a very productive spell for the West Indies. Australia are now 4 for 115. Alan Border, the Australian captain, is the new batsman, replacing Damien Martin. Brilliantly caught just now by Phil Simmons in the gully for 7. Courtney Walsh will continue from the southern end. And in the commentary box, it'll be Michael Holding and Bill Lorry.
He pulls that and get off the mark with a good pull shot. Very confident straight from Border. Coming off a century for Queensland last week. It's a very good, solid start. They've run 3. And they're happy with that. He pulls again. So on board, his intentions are clear. Doesn't quite get hold of that one. Picks up 2 runs. Catch, it's a cry. Williams dives across. We'll wait for the call from the umpire, whether that was bat or thigh pad. Concedes a run, so half a chance. Border cuts and gets it through. They'll go all the way. Outfield slow, but that'll make it Border. Superb cutter. And Bishop, the problem here for Richie Richardson, too much width to the right and left-handed batsman. And Border just chips that down to mid-off. That's the over bowled. So at T, on the first day, Australia are fourth 132. Alan Border 13, Mark Waugh 11.
Welcome back. 4 for 135. That's the Great Southern Stand. Get an idea of how big it is. Oh, he's hit that one straight down the ground. A beautiful shot by Border, and it's 6. What a magnificent straight hit. He's been hitting the ball straight to mid-off. That one, he went down the wicket too and smashed it straight over the top. What a beautiful shot. Welcome back to, this is Border's straight 6. About 6-7 rows back. It's a long head. It's a big ground, this one. Isn't the psychological aspect of it from a bowling point of view. He sees a nice... Oh, and that's hit Border on the crash helmet. Straight over his head, 4 leg byes. If you're taking evasive action and the ball strikes you, whether it be on the head, the back, you name it, you get 4 for it. Well, that's an interesting shot. There's no one down there, so it'll go down to the boundary for 4. High bouncer, and Waugh was onto it in a flash. That's his first boundary.
Played a few of these shots in the Caribbean against Curtly Ambrose and played them very effectively. Got a century in the 5th Test match at Antigua. Just giving himself some room and then deliberately whacking it over the top of the gully.
And well bowled by Carl Hooper. Nearly, oh so nearly got through with the first ball of the over. A 50 partnership comes up between Border and Mark Waugh. Another good shot from Mark Waugh, nicely timed through mid-on. Curtly Ambrose isn't bothering to chase that. 4 runs all the way. Beautiful times. Desmond Haynes, the acting West Indies skipper, as Richie Richardson is off the field with a thigh strain. consulting with Phil Simmons. And so it seems is Mark Waugh, who picks up 3 at the first ball of the over. And that's a good shot from Alan Border. Nicely timed, straight down the ground. Might be forced to run here all the way with the slowish outfield at the MCG. Ian Bishop retrieves. Keeps it down to 3 for Alan Border.
A long time getting going. Mark Waugh and Alan Border threatening to break away here, and that brings up Mark Waugh's 50. Three overs after this before the second new ball is due. That's a fairly ordinary start by Jimmy Adams. Australia bring up the 200. Mark Waugh doesn't want him to settle into his stride very easily. Straight back down the ground, one bounce into the fence. Up and under, may not go all the way. The outfield is quite slow, but the ball is going to go all the way, and that brings up the 100 partnership between Mark Waugh and Alan Border.
Yes, he looks very relaxed. He always moves forward slightly. That's his first movement. And then just goes back, and that one nips back, and he's down. Well, I told you he was dangerous. And that one really did nip back a long way. Good shot by Border. He's got that one away down towards the third man boundary, and it's gone to the fence. That's a pretty ordinary effort down there by Ambrose. There's a little bit of concrete down there, and perhaps he was a bit scared of putting his foot on the concrete, but really it ran into the boundary about a foot in front of him. The Border on 49. There it is. That's Border's 50. What a fighter he is. He's been out with injury. Back into the test side. And he is now posted 50. He'll get that out of his mind really quickly and start looking for 100.
An excellent 50 there for Alan Border. An outstanding partnership between Mark Waugh and Alan Border, the Australian skipper. 4 for 227, a splendid fight back by the Australians, 92 overs bowled, and you can add on another 25 to 30 runs, I reckon, for the slow outfield there. They could have been around 255, 260. The bowling figures for West Indies, a great day for them. They started off, looked as though they might have got through the Australians for something around about 180 or 190. Then came the fight back. Ambrose, 2 for 29 after a slightly wayward start, 20 overs and 9 maidens for him. And the other 2 wickets for Courtney Walsh, 24 overs, 8 maidens, and 2 for 53. So Border and Mark Waugh go into tomorrow's play, the second day of this Boxing Day test, with Australia now in a strong position. It didn't always look like that, but it was a very, very interesting day's play. For the moment, it's good night. Welcome to highlights of the second day's play of the Boxing Day Test match between Australia and the West Indies here at the MCG. An absorbing first day, some terrific cricket from the West Indies bowlers and also from the Australian batsmen. This is the way the cards looked at the close of the first day. The Australians fought for 227 with Boone out for 46 and Taylor 13. Steve Waugh made 38 and Damien Martin was dismissed by Ambrose for 7. The not-out batsmen, Mark Waugh 63 and Alan Border 51, 112 their partnership and very, very important. The West Indies bowlers, well, they did wonderfully well. Outstanding bowling from Ambrose and Walsh. They all bowled pretty well after a slightly wayward beginning, a bit short of match practice, I would think, there. And they kept the Australians down to that figure of 4 for 227, which could have been around about 255 or 260, but for the slow outfield. We join play now in the second over. There have been 2 runs added. It's 4 for 229. Bishop is the bowler. Alan Border is taking strike. And in the commentary box, Bill Laurie and David Gower.
Glance is fine. That'll go all the way. The old red veins. Good value. Right up the meat of the back. Fine shot. Beautifully played. The outfield much faster this morning. May not go all the way. It's a long boundary they should run for. All run. Fine throw. Good cricket all round. 4 for 237. Oh, slower ball that slipped out of the hand. Nearly cleaned up Alan Border. He nods his head as Ian Bishop says sorry. Good shot. Phil Simmons is the man backwards square leg, just a single. Border's always been a good hooker and puller. Tries to hook the ball down. He's gone. Oh, he's dropped him. Oh dear, he dived in front of Brian Lara. That was a regulation catch. It actually just went slowly towards the slip. Williams not having a good match. It's the third one he's missed. That was an easy one for the first slip over. Difficult for the wicketkeeper.
This ball seemed to come on so slowly. Mark Waugh just... It's a good delivery from Ian Bishop. But it gave Williams time to come across in front of the first slip.
Bishop on his way in now. Oh, he's got that away beautifully. He really has played that shot well today. And in fact, yesterday, that brings up the 250. Border getting himself into a magnificent position to play that pull shot. Got it away just behind square. Have another look at this. You can't do much better.
Very good shot this from Alan Border. I think the West Indian attack at him right now is a little bit offline, really. They are bowling to Alan Border with 2 men out, 1 in front of square.
Oh, and the big shot to catch it there. It sounded a little fleshy to me. See if we can pick up what the deflection came from.
And there was no signal from the umpire, so let's have a look at this. Either the glove or the arm guard, that's for sure.
Oh, and he's missed him. Well, it's gone between the wicketkeeper and first slip down to the boundary for 4. Curtly doesn't look happy to me.
Curtly isn't happy at all. There it goes, another one down to third man before. But to be perfectly honest, if I was Alan Border, I wouldn't be very happy with Mark Waugh either.
Oops, it's hit him. It's gone through to the keeper, and no glove, no bat in that one. Stifled appeal. Seemed to pick that one up at all. He's bowling some magnificent short deliveries.
Yes, this is a very good bouncer. Pitching outside the off stump and heading in towards the batsman.
Done it again. Doesn't mind backing away, and it's giving Curtly Ambrose a fair bit of food for thought. Well, he was right about that one being a bounce, and he went right underneath it. 4 for 263. Atherton out there at square leg just by the umpire. So a little barrage of words. That's a full toss, a rank full toss. You know, every batsman, even those youngsters playing in kindergarten cricket like those. It also brings up the 150 partnership between these two. What a partnership it's been.
Now they're appealing for LBW, I think. They've just flicked the pad. What about the back leg?
That is good cricket from Mark Waugh. They took the man away from down there, brought him into that short gully position we were talking about, and he has smashed it away behind square. 4 for 281.
Even with all these men on the leg side, there are still gaps there for Mark Waugh to use. Just get the one. There's a cloud of sand as that ball hit the deck. We'll certainly be looking for two. Curtly Ambrose coming round from square leg will cut it off. Mark Waugh will move to 99. That's it. Well played, Mark Waugh. It's a very fine Test 100. A very good battle, especially here this morning against this West Indies attack. Mark Waugh has really earned the 3 figures. He's played very well throughout. It would be churlish to mention the odd slice of luck that might have accompanied him through it. That's a very, very good 100 indeed. Wide delivery marks the end of the session this morning at the MCG. It's been a very, very good session indeed for Australia. Frustration for the West Indies.
Welcome back. So Curtly Ambrose is going to continue. Oh, that's a beautiful delivery. Big appeal there for caught behind. There must have been a little noise, although Ambrose didn't go up. They seemed to go up from behind the stumps. So the field all changes around again, and once again they've gone back to the very strong leg side field. Oh, he's hit that beautifully. Magnificent hit. That'll be 6. Over the top she goes, or did it bounce just short? What a magnificent shot that was. Inside out, just short, and over the boundary, way down there. That deep extra cover. He's got that away. It's in the air, but it'll fall safely. So one more to Border. He moves closer to the century. And it also brings up the 200 partnership between these two. Out, yes, great catch, magnificently taken, and at last he struck. Boy, does Ambrose enjoy that one. He's been working away at it as a little fella too. It was a magnificent catch. He hasn't got very long arms, and I tell you what, he had that right arm of his fully stretched.
One of the best pieces of bowling we've ever seen in a test match against a man who sat. The line was right. He wasn't quite there, Mark Waugh, and Williams went away. That was a gem. A brilliant catch, the end of a fine innings. Superb spell of bowling from the big man. And a wonderful round of applause for Mark Waugh making his first 100 at the Melbourne Cricket Ground.
The Australian wicketkeeper is the new batsman, just 28 years of age, highest score of 71 there. He's never made a test 100. One played away into the gap, and there's no one down there, so he's away. Been deflected away the third man as well. They're picking some runs up in that area. After the third. 5 for 328. Hooper's going to continue with his off spinners.
Quite a chase for Phil Simmons. Chase for Ambrose. They should get 3.
Certainly a very good century there by Alan Border.
Shouts of catch it, but it gets away from Jimmy Adams, and I think there was a bit of an edge there.
Ian Healy trying to hit it through the mid-wicket region, inside edge. Not really. James Adams not quite getting there.
Shouts of catch it, but it's just away from Keith Arthurton. Australia 5 for 346.
There's some confusion here. Direct hit would have been trouble for Alan Border. In fact, it would have been the end for Alan Border. Now a very easy single. Australia in a strong position here at the MCG, 5 for 362. Ian Bishop will continue from the member stand end. It's a good delivery. That's cut back and hit the glove of Alan Border as he was trying to leave the ball go. He's out caught behind. One of the more straightforward catches for David Williams. And a just reward for some pretty good work with the ball from Ian Bishop today. But Alan Border, a magnificent innings for Australia. Came in when the side was in trouble, as he's so often done in the past. He's out in this manner.
Well, there's not much Border can do about that, except I suppose he could have played at it, but he did all the correct things, and a wonderful ovation for the Australian captain.
And the big fella strides to the crease. Mervyn Hughes, 31 years of age. The West Indians have stuck to their task pretty well. A good bit of running. It's a good delivery. That could be out off the glove. Another one caught behind the wicket from the glove. This time Ian Healy playing a defensive shot to a very good short ball from Courtney Walsh, who has, as I said earlier, bowled quite well today without luck until that delivery.
He'll be livid with that, I reckon. He's close to a compulsive hooker. Looks as though he's decided not to play the hook shot, to play the defensive shot instead. And that is quite often the result when we make a decision of that kind. Healy has gone. West Indies have got their breakthrough. He's out for 24, and it's 7 for 366.
Shane Warne, the other Victorian in the lineup, comes to the crease to join his Victorian teammate Merv Hughes in his 5th Test match. Shane, more than useful tail ender.
Nice deflection, just a single. Shane Warne off the mark. Much improved batsman, Shane Warne. Big shout. No movement from the umpire or the bowler, but the wicketkeeper very confident, running forward as if it was an automatic out. It's got to be out. It's got him now. Good reply from Bishop. Straight at Shane Warne. Popped it up. Jimmy Adams took the regulation catch. Good piece of bowling.
Well, that's the best way to come back. If there was any doubt about the previous delivery as to whether or not Shane Warne got a faint edge through to the wicketkeeper, there's absolutely no doubt about this. Banged in halfway down. Warne unable to get on top of it. It's come straight off the face of the bat. Lobbed up gently. Jimmy Adams gets the reward for standing at short leg for a long, long time now. Shane Warne is out. Court Adams bowled Bishop for 1, and Australia are 8 for 370.
An interesting stage here with Australia 8 out as McDermott takes guard. Chips that over square leg. It's off the mark. Picks up 2 runs. Oh, gets it fine. Could go all the way. Walsh is coming around quickly. To a soccer. Misses. 4 runs.
It's obviously not coming around quickly enough.
Arthur won't miss, will he? Yes, he does. And overthrows. Big Kirtley. Listen to the roar of the crowd. Views on strike. So there's a bit happening at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. And some little pedals over the top. Lara doesn't get it. Falls in safely. 2 more.
Oh, he's bowled in. Well, at last they've tried a straight up there Yorker, and down go the stumps. McDermott wasn't in the same parish. No chance of him getting a bat on that one, and so that's the end of him.
A full toss. If you're going to back away like that, that's simply the way to bowl. Australia lose their 9th wicket at 3-9-4. 3-9-4 for 9.
Michael Whitney is the new batsman. He's striding out to the centre now. Oh, he's hit him on the head. So that's a wicket maiden. And he's looking straight at him. Oh, big peel for LBW, and that's it. He's out. LBW. And so that's the end of the Australian innings.
A very good performance in the end by the Australians to get up to within 5 runs of the 400 mark. 112 for Mark Waugh, a very good innings. A wonderful knock by Alan Border for 110. Healy batted well for 24, 17 to McDermott in very unusual style, and Whitney a globe at the end. 395, and the bowling figures for the West Indies. Kirtley, Ambrose, quite magnificent. 35 overs, 10 maidens, 3 for 70. One of the best exhibitions of pace bowling I've seen in Test cricket. Bishop, 3 for 84. and Walsh 4 for 91. So, very good performance from the Australians, 395. We'll be back in a moment after the break to start the West Indies innings.
Welcome back. Well, the West Indian openers are out there now, and Alan Border has his slip cordon in place. First ball in the West Indian innings. Down the leg side, and it was probably off the thigh pad. It's going to go down to the boundary for 4 leg byes, I think. Well, the umpire, he signalled leg byes. In the air and over the top of slips. Well, McDermott finding the outside edge there as Haynes went to flash that one away on the offside. Just too high for the slip cordon. Merv Hughes is about to take the new ball. 3 wickets he took in the first Test match. Oh, he's bowled in. He's dragged it back on. Listen to the cheer. Merv Hughes has struck. It looks as if it's come down off his arm, perhaps onto his foot, but anyhow it's rolled back onto the stump. Perhaps bouncing a little bit more than Haynes expected, but Australia struck early on.
Yes, this is a bogey for Australia. It did quite a bit. Jack back in towards Desmond Haynes, hit him on his elbow and then bounced down onto the wickets. But I don't think Merv Hughes is too worried about how it got onto the stumps. That's Desmond Haynes gone, the most experienced of the West Indian batsmen. It's 1 for 11.
So Australia off to a great start. Richie Richardson's the new batsman.
And a very big innings for the West Indies in the Caribbean against Australia last year. Phil Simmons, a strong driver of the ball. Likes to get on the front foot.
Richie had his problems in early days on English pitches with the ball moving around off the seam.
Doesn't mind a hook shot. They generally go a long way when he hooks them. Has a tendency to hook up and under because of the small grounds in the Caribbean. He's hit it up and under here, and this is no small ground. If you hit a 6 on this ground, you can hit 6 on any ground in the world. And that is a great delivery. The Australians behind the wicket, fairly confident that something made contact. Richie Richardson really more worried about where the ball came from and where it went. Merv Hughes continues. That's out. David Boone responding very quickly, as he often does in that position. Phil Simmons off the middle of the bat, thick inside edge probably. The bat jamming into his pads with the ball flying straight off the bat. David Boone, whose reflexes are still working very well, snaps it up in the left hand, and the West Indies are in trouble.
That is a brilliant catch. Unless they're hit straight at you, they're really not the sort of catches you expect to take at bat pad. David Boone can be very pleased with that effort. Merv Hughes has got his second wicket. West Indies are 2 for 28.
Brian Lara batting at 4. Would have hoped not to have had to bat today. Just a little bit of light rain falling here at the MCG at the moment.
It's a chance. Very well taken. Richie Richardson is waiting just to make sure it's carried. Umpire Steve Randall has put his finger up. No need to consult this time. Richie Richardson must walk. Ian Healy wrong-footed by the original direction of that ball. Dived away to his right and came up clutching a very good catch indeed.
Richie Richardson was not at all happy, but Healy's got it. And it's 3 for 33. Rain is coming down here at the MCG.
Brian Lara is obviously not too happy about the chance to bat on under these conditions.
Well, that rain caused a 13-minute interruption to play. Play was extended to 12 minutes past 6 or 24 overs to be bowled by the Australians.
Arthur, well, that's not a shot, that's dangerous. Must be very close, coming left arm over the wicket. May have struck him just outside the line. If it hits the stumps, you're out. Oh! Did he touch it? There was a big flying leap to his right. Damien Martin, the cry was catch it. There was plenty of bat on that.
29-run partnership so far here today, and that looks like the end of the second day's play here at the MCG. And a very good day's play it has been.
And those two very good young players, Brian Lara and Keith Arthurton, who were successful in Brisbane in the first test, have seen West Indies through to be 3 for 62 from 24 overs at the end. They were 3 for 33 at one stage, Lara 14 and Arthurton 13. The Australians, they worked really hard out there. It's always a nasty session for the batsman. Merv Hughes made sure it was even nastier. 8 overs, 4 maidens and 3 for 18. He had 3 for 5 at one stage. So the lead now is 333 for the Australians, with the West Indies 3 for 62. We've had 2 fascinating days at this test match. Look forward to having you with us tomorrow at the MCG. For the moment, it's goodbye. Plenty of excitement on the first 2 days of this test match. The third day coming up now at the MCG. Welcome. And just a reminder of what has gone on those 2 previous days. That's the Australian first innings, 395. They carried on yesterday from 4 for 227. Mark Wall made 112 and Alan Border 110. Their partnership was worth 204 runs, took them 447 balls, but it was a terrific effort from that pair. Ian Healy batted very well for 24, and the West Indies bowlers, Ambrose, quite superb, 3 for 70 in 35 overs and 10 maidens, and 4 for 91 for Walsh and 3 for 84 for Bishop. And then in reply at stumps yesterday evening after a short rain delay, the West Indies had lost 3 for 62 in 24 overs. The not-out batsman Lara 14, Arthurton 13, Haynes out for 7, Simmons for 6, Richardson for 15, all of them to Merv Hughes, who at one stage had 3 for 5, and a terrific effort from him. Those are his figures there. He finished with 3 for 18 from 8 overs and 4 maidens. McDermott, Whitney and Warren, the other bowlers used. In the commentary box this morning, David Gower, and alongside him is Tony Gregg.
Thank you, Richie. Yes, well, it's going to be very interesting to see how this little saga unfolds here this morning. Shane Warne is going to start the day. Very well fielded. It's a good shot. Warren doing the chasing down there. He's got that one through the gully fieldsman down to the fence there. This field's really just a little bit quicker today, even by comparison with yesterday. That's a good shot. Magnificent drive. That's an all-run 4. It's also the over. 3 for 79. He's hit that one miles. Straight down the ground, it's gone, and into the crowd. So a magnificent straight hit.
This is a lovely shot from Keith Arthurton. Used his feet perfectly. Good follow through of the bat. Not quite as far as the great Gary Sobers used to follow through, but good catch in the crowd too. It won't count then.
Well, that's a good drive through cover there. Magnificently placed. Oh, good shot again. So that looks like being 5 off the over. He's gone and done his ankle again, Laura. As he turned, he's gone and done something to his knee, perhaps it is.
Just as he comes up to turn here, there's just a bit of a slip as those rubber soles slide on the greener grass just to the side of the main strip. And he's not very comfortable there, that is for sure.
We're going to see Laura continuing out there with Arthurton.
That's a good shot. There should be a 4-all run if Lara's fit enough to do it, because the fieldsman had to dive at mid-off. Shane Warne, that means Damien Martin has had a long chase. Well, that was a good test for Lara. He got through the 4, and he is just hobbling a little bit. Lara and Arthurton came together with a score at 3 for 33. It's now 3 for 98. McDermott coming up from deep backward square. There's the 100 up for the West Indies. Shouts of catch it, but I think Lara's picked the gap. Just to Border's left and just to Steve Waugh's right.
Brian Lara, 1 run from his 50. A good performance from him. He looked very good in Brisbane. He's shown the same assurance here, although he seemed to injure a knee, slipping, turning on a run between the wickets at one stage. Very composed young man, Brian Lara, very confident young man, and there's his 50. And a very good 50 it's been. West Indies in trouble, the team under a lot of pressure, as they were in Brisbane when Arthurton and Lara got together. And they've fashioned a very good partnership and a good 50 to Brian Lara. We've seen some exciting shot making. Wrong 'un, but it's a full toss with Shane Warne going back over the wicket. One bounce into the mid-wicket fence.
A little bit in the air, but that'll beat Whitney at mid-off, who's not the quickest of the Australian fieldsmen.
This is a, in fact, I mean, reliably informed, this is a Windies whirl, this one. And yours is a Borders bite.
Borders bite, Caribbean delight, there's plenty of them. Great drinks, great taste, and safe to drive. It's a tough life, isn't it? Here at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, watching a great test match, drinking a mocktail just before the luncheon break. Nice deflection down to third man. That could go all the way. That brings up the 50 for Keith Arthurton. Excellent double for him. Brisbane are now at the second test match. A fighting hand.
Yes, been very good innings by Arthurton, and the appropriate applause too for him.
Close, got him! Yes! Brian Lara holds the bat up. He thought there was a noise. Brian Lara did look at the bat, but it looked to be pumped to me.
Brian Lara held the bat up because he seems to be suggesting that he hit the thing. Well, let's see if we can pick that up. See if you can see any bat in this. Well, the bat was very close to the ball. Very often you see the he held the bat up there. You can see that. And Whitney is up in the air. And so Lara out for 52. LBW for the bowling of Whitney. 4 down for 139.
Carl Hooper making his way to the centre of the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Michael Whitney has struck just at the right time for Alan Border.
Make your own mind up as to whether there was a little nick on that one. Very disappointed as he looks down towards the edge of the bat there. He actually held the bat up.
Hooper off the mark. I'm not sure that that's the thing to do. She'll judged out. The umpire's got the best view in the house. Thick edge down to a third man. Shane Warne. Well forward. Nullifies the chance for an LBW just outside the line of the off stump. Warne a good spell today. No wicket for 33. McDermott, who's bowled, I think, without luck. No wicket for 49. It's gone! What a catch! A beauty! Superb catch by Stephen Ward, driving forward. Carl Hooper just hit it through the line. Fine cricket.
Well, that's one of the best catches you'll ever see. Diving forward there and snapping that one just above the surface. Have another look at this. Absolutely unbelievable. He goes forward and in she goes. And what a catch is that?
And what a disappointing stroke just before the luncheon break, just leaning into the lazy drive, and Ward, it may have been a slower delivery, took a fine catch. It's 5 for 144. Jimmy Adams comes to the crease.
The misfield will get Adams off the mark. Fine shot from Jimmy Adams. Down the wicket, used his feet very well and timed this ball beautifully. Found the gap perfectly at extra cover and gets 4 good runs for it. Atherton, the main figure from the West Indies innings, 61 not out, and facing Shane Warne. The first time Warne drops a little bit short is a very good pull shot from Keith Atherton. It's just going to make it to the fence, the square leg boundary. It's the first time that Shane Warne's really dropped short at all, and Keith Atherton very quick to take advantage.
66 to Atherton, 10 to Adams. There've been only a few loose balls from Shane Warne in his couple of spells today. That one's crept along the ground as Jimmy Adams got the pad outside the line of off stump. And is he interested in running? He doesn't have to. 4-leg buys.
Gone. That's the end of the fine innings. Good bowling by McDermott. Good line. He played just outside the line, straight through to Healy. Regulation catch. That's the breakthrough Australia needed.
That's the line I was talking about, and just about the perfect length. Not close enough for him to come forward and not short for him to go back and cut. That's perfect. Pitching just about off stump, going across his body. McDermott persisting on that line, and he has been rewarded. Keith Atherton goes brilliantly caught, 7-1. West Indies now 6 for 192.
David Williams comes to the crease to join Jimmy Adams. That was a fine piece of bowling by Craig McDermott. The batsman was set and just worked away at off stump and got 1-2 pitch about off stump. He's going to be looking at another 100. When you get to 70, you're looking at 3 figures, but just beaten by the good line and moving off the seam. It's gone! 2 in a row! He's on a hat-trick! Caught behind, just offering the straight back, up the edge, straight through to Healy. McDermott strikes again.
Well, that is not bad bowling at all by Craig McDermott. Pitching on off stump to the left-hander and immediately changing his line. A good ball off stump to the right-hander. 2 balls in a row. Very, very good bowling that by Craig McDermott to change the line so easily. David Williams goes, no score. Daddles follows him. West Indies now 7 for 192.
Ian Bishop comes in to face Craig McDermott on a hat-trick. 7 for 192. Bishop on strike. Right in the meat of the bat.
Well, to be perfectly honest, Bill, I think Bishop should be batting in front of David Williams. He's not a bad player.
Seven for 197 as Ian Chappell and Tony Gregg take up the commentary.
He's gone flying away down towards fine leg. They'll come back for the second. Oops, he's running the umpire there, and the ball's going down towards the square leg boundary. And they're coming back for another one. Oh, he's bowled him. Neck and crop. That's a good ball. Went straight through all the defences that Ian Bishop could offer, and back went the stumps.
Terrific spell from Craig McDermott. And it's just gone slightly as a leg cutter. Doesn't have to go much when you're bowling such a good line. Ian Bishop has gone for 9. The West Indies 8 for 206.
So Curtly Ambrose, the new batsman, he's been having a bit of a tough time of it with the bat. He's got that one away square on the leg side. Back they come for the fourth, and easily home on that occasion. He's nudged that one down to the vacant third man area. No one down there. Will the ball get to the fence? I think probably it will just. So another 4. Straight at McDermott a little bit.
Full pitch, and he's cracked that. Damien Martin won't stop that. Goes all the way. Full toss, a loose delivery, and the left-hander hitting with the horizontal bat. Smashes it away for 4. And he's rung and will spin towards the slip. Curtly Ambrose clubs that. Caught! What a catch! That's the best catch of the season. McDermott making 5 or 6 metres to his right. Has taken a gem.
Yes, that was a beautiful catch. McDermott diving away. And have a look at this again. He really did smash it away. And McDermott going away to his right there, one-handed. What a catch, and boy, did that bring a smile to his face. 9 for 233.
Courtney Walsh comes to the crease. The 85 overs has been bowled, but with number 11 at the crease, one feels that Border will stay with McDermott and Warne. Jimmy Adams on 47, the batsman on strike. Gone! Boone at short leg, a gem. And McDermott once again strikes, but that's superb fielding.
Yes, another very good catch by David Boone, second one of the innings. He's stayed quite a long way back and snaffled that one, no trouble at all. Have a look at this. There he goes to his right, no trouble.
50 wickets for McDermott against the West Indies in Test cricket. He's bowled beautifully today, well supported in the field. And unfortunately for Jimmy Adams, he doesn't make a 50. It was a fine 47. Mervyn Hughes broke through early. Good effort by Adams and Arthurton and Brian Lara, but they didn't go on after good starts. That's a very good performance by the Australian bowlers. They really have got themselves in a situation now with 2 days to go plus an hour and 3/4 where they can win this Test match.
Yes, there's no doubt about that. And the bowlers, 3 of them together, getting a cheer off the ground from all and sundry. McDermott in particular getting a little cheer from his colleagues.
Welcome back to the MCG. Players just about to begin here with the West Indies dismissed for 233 in reply to the Australians' 395. Mark Taylor will take strike to Curtly Ambrose. And in the commentary box now, Tony Greig and Bill Laurie.
Thank you, Richie. Australia lead by 162. With thigh pad, any score over 350 will be very difficult on the final day. Spraying onto the leg stump. That could be a leg by Cole Timmins.
It's interesting. No wicket for one, the score at the moment. And out there is Mrs. Holding and Gower. Seem to be enjoying themselves.
He's promoted the drink as Williams fumbles, not having a great match. Could be a bye. We'll wait for the call. A bye.
Yes, there are all sorts of variations, 101 mocktails in all. You get a Caribbean sunset, Borders bite, Mervs might. There's a Windies whirl, which is probably what Michael Holding's drinking, and there's a nice little book there too, which describes how to make all of them.
Benefit goes to the batsman.
Taylor off the mark. .42 to get off the mark for Mark Taylor. Spilled there by the skipper. Runs coming in a flood now for Mark Taylor after 42 minutes on naught.
Australia's slow progress in the second innings has just started to irritate this crowd at the MCG. They'd like to see their players getting on with it. Like to see the runs being scored. That's gone. David Boone completely perplexed by lack of bounce from Phil Simmons. Phil Simmons strikes the West Indies. The crowd wanted some action, and they've got the wicket of David Boone.
One of the problems with just trying to exist. David Boone gets an absolute gazunder there. It was quite short. Phil Simmons is delighted with what's happened, but David Boone is not. I don't think Phil Simmons will be all that excited when he thinks about having to bat on the wicket. David Boone gone for 11 and Australia 1 for 22.
And it's time for the night watchman to make the appearance. Shane Warne made one in the first innings, and that's qualified him for this very, very important role as night watchman for Australia.
Shane Warne is there because David Boone got the die-dapper. It's hit the pitch and hardly risen above pitch level to hit the middle stump. David Boone has got a look of absolute horror on his face. I don't believe what I've just seen. I'm not all that happy about going, but I know I have to be gone.
Runs for Mark Taylor. Not exactly been blistering out there this afternoon. and not looking very comfortable either. Just have been a hint of glove in there somewhere.
Well, that is a mutton.
The home crowd, as it were, the Victorian crowd, delighted to see their man away from the danger end. It's going to be over. Australia are 1 for 26. The last ball of the day to be bowled by Phil Simmons. Australia very much in command of this test match. Safely defended by Shane Warne. It stumps in the third day. Australia now have a lead of 188. They're 1 for 26 in their second innings. Mark Taylor is not out 9, Shane Warne not out 1. Look forward to you joining us tomorrow morning at 10:50.
The fourth day of the Australia-West Indies Test match at the MCG. Welcome to the highlights. We've already had 3 great days here, and it's shown in the scorecards. First of all, the Australians 395, the wonderful partnership of 204 between Mark Waugh and Alan Border. Healy at the end chiming in with 24, 395 for them. And in reply, West Indies 233, so a sizable lead for the Australians. 52 to Brian Lara, 71 to Keith Arthurton, and 47 to Jimmy Adams, who played very well on his debut against Australia. Then the Australian batting up to stumps on the third evening. It was tough going out there, I can tell you. 1 for 26 they were. Gave them a lead of 188. Taylor and Warne, the not-out overnight batsman. Well, good conditions here at the MCG for the fourth day. Nice and sunny, temperature around about 23 or 24 degrees, but the pitch liable to play with variable bounce. We join play now in the 5th over. Bishop is the bowler. He's coming in to bowl to Taylor, and your commentators are Greg and Holding.
Thick edge there. And down to the boundary for 4, and there's an example of perhaps a third slip had been in position there. That might have been the end of Taylor. That's the first 4 of the innings. The one that goes down to third man, although it's played quite squarely. He's got to come around a bit. So they managed 2 that time. Oh, and a big appeal there for LBW. A little bit high, I think. Well, that's the idea. If it keeps low, he's gone. So 1 for 40, the Australians. Started the day with an overall lead of 188. That lead is now 202. In the air and out. That one bounced just a little bit, and Arthurton really wouldn't drop those. Pretty straightforward. The ball bounced a little bit from Ambrose, and Warren trying to turn it away on the leg side, hit the middle of the bat, and went straight to Arthurton.
Yes, not a very difficult catch at all for Keith Atherton. Curtly Ambrose again pushing that ball in towards the right-hander, not trying to beat the bat outside the off stump or to leave the right-hander. Shane Warne goes, did a good job last night though. 2 for 40 Australia.
Stephen Waugh, the new batsman, 46 test matches. Oh, a big appeal there for LBW. Did it hold its line? Perhaps it pitched outside leg stump. That must have been what happened. A close call there for Taylor. 350s. Oh, that's a big appeal, and oh, the hand came around. That's enough to drive any batsman round the bend. The hand came around, but it stayed down. Oh, he's gone! What a good catch there by Simmons in the gully. Waugh has gone for the big cut shot there to a ball way outside off stump. It was short, it bounced, the shot was on, he went for it. He really hit it hard, but he hit it straight to Simmons, who got off the ground. He must have been in the air by a foot or two when he took the catch. It was going quickly. Good catch and a good wicket there for the West Indies.
That's a wicket that you have got to give to Phil Simmons. Not too many gully fielders would have taken that catch. It wasn't a particularly good ball. He hit it firmly, but Steve Waugh will have time to sit down and think about that. It's 3 for 41 Australia.
Mark Waugh's the new batsman. In 3 test matches in Sri Lanka, he made 64 runs. And in this series at the Gabba, he scored 39 and 60.
Dropped him. Carl Hooper having a horrific match. That really was a regulation catch. It had to be caught admittedly, but it was thickish edge. Went straight to him low down, and he put it down. No big gully. There's a man at backward square leg. It brings up the 50, but it's a hard-earned 50 for 3. Well taken off the thigh pad. They're asking for a catch. No appeal from short leg. A great over from Ambrose. 3 for 50. Welsh bowls failed to loosen him up. Taylor picks him up. Mark Waugh coming back for 3. That's well done.
Oh, just a chance there. Or at least half a chance as Jimmy Adams dived away to his right. Mark Taylor goes to the hook. Gets hold of it quite well. There's a lot of distance to cover, but it goes away for 4. That's one of the few aggressive shots that Mark Taylor has played during this innings. Very successful. 4 more runs to Australia. And they are now 3 for 72. And that's in the air. Again, fortune favouring Mark Waugh. Nothing's gone the West Indies' way, or very little's gone the West Indies' way during this match.
Very eventful over from Phil Simmons. Shouts of catch it, and that's exactly what Jimmy Adams has done. So Phil Simmons a little unlucky, but I think you could safely say that he played his part in bringing about Mark Waugh's downfall.
Yes, I think this last over was still lingering on Mark Waugh's mind there. The good-looking shot, but carried in the air just long enough for James Adams to get his hands under it. So Mark Waugh, after having such a brilliant first inning century, he departs.
Damien Martin comes in at a very interesting time. That must have gone very close to the stumps. Underneath edge. Australia are now 4 for 80. Clock ticks over to 1 o'clock. So the lead now is 242 for Australia with 6 wickets in hand. 27 overs in that session. Australia scoring at exactly 2 runs per over. 54 runs scored, and they lost 3 wickets.
Four for 87. 56 overs have been bowled, and Taylor's still out there with Martin. That's good placement. That brings up the 250. In fact, brings up the lead of 250.
Well, that's pretty close. Well, it's hit the stumps. I thought for a second there it had wrapped him on the pads, but it hasn't. It's wrapped off stump, and that's very similar to the delivery and about the spot where Mike Whitney got Brian Lara out, one that crept very low.
First delivery from around the wicket. Another die-dapper under the bat. Straight into off stump, and Ian Bishop has struggled with the ball for most of this match. He's bowled a couple of good spells. A lot of it has been a bit disappointing. We'll be very pleased to see the back of Mark Taylor for 42 and Australia 5 for 90.
Alan Border, who's probably played the best innings of the Test match so far. Mark Waugh certainly got 100 in the first innings, but I thought that Alan Border looked more secure. He certainly didn't give any chances. A shout of catch it, and very nearly a brilliant catch by David Williams. That ball was going down off the glove, I would say. Damien Martin's glove, that is. Staying down is not necessarily a new thing, the MCG pitch. It's an excellent shot. It hasn't done Keith Atherton's hand any good.
Well struck by Damien Martin. Bounce, I think, has struck a very painful blow there to Keith Atherton.
Well, it looks like Dennis Waite has decided that the treatment should be done back in the pavilion. That's where he's taking Keith, and Gus Logie has come out to replace him. News from the West Indies dressing room is that Keith Atherton has a bruised thumb. I don't think that's any surprise. Phil Simmons can't get up and grab that one. And just the third boundary in the innings for Australia.
Been a real testing time here for Damien Martin.
Jimmy Adams on his left hand. He wasn't able to pick it up. I doubt that he would have got Damien Martin anyhow. Oh, he's gone right through border now. Having bowled Mark Taylor from around the wicket. He's bowled border through the gate from over the wicket.
A pretty good delivery from Ian Bishop. Pitching and then cutting back at the batsman. Alan Border just leaving enough of a gate there to let the ball through, and he's on his way back for 4. Australia struggling at 6 for 102.
Ian Healy is the man that's replaced him, 28 years old. Useful lower order batsman. A good shot from Damien Martin. Nicely timed through extra cover. Richard Richardson the man after it. And Martin very quickly will come back for 3. That's good running too. Runs have been hard to come by, so every extra one you can squeeze out is a real bonus. And that's off the edge again. And a despairing dive from Carl Hooper. They'll get 2 runs for this. They'll get 3 runs for this. Again, very quick and very good running by the Australians. There's our man with the Richie Richardson imitation hat. And Curtly Ambrose obviously felt the sun a moment or two ago.
Walsh once again to Healy. That's straight up in the air. Courtney Walsh, the bowler, has got it. So Ian Healy is gone.
Ian Healy in no position to control this pull shot. Probably a little late on the shot as well, but this ball bounces too much for Ian Healy. Straight back up in the air. Courtney Walsh takes full responsibility for his own wicket. Another Australian wicket falls. Ian Healy out for 8. Australia now 7 for 121. There are about 17,000 people in this ground today, and they gave a typically warm welcome to Merv Hughes as he made his way out to the crease to replace Ian Healy. Merv Hughes coming down the track, he's in trouble. Gets himself back in time.
Experience, that is.
Whips it nicely away off his hip. Pull shot didn't bounce that high, and he's going to get 4. On the context of the shots played today, that's as good as any. He's going for the hook shot. He's going to get 4 more. Oh, that's a very good piece of batting. That was a genuine bounce, a hook shot, he hit it fine. And this good crowd of around about 20,000 enjoying this battle. 293 the lead. Merv pulls, that's well played. The crowd roars. Big Merv gets 4. They're bowling too short for the order batsmen as they did in the first innings.
Certainly a lot too many short balls.
202 runs against England. High score 71, 72 not out against the West Indies, which we mentioned with the Adelaide Oval.
Fine shot. Picks off the half volley. On drives beautifully. Gaining with confidence all the time, Martin. It's 7 for 144.
Simmons to bowl. He's got to go with that one, and there's no one out there. It's over the top. It's 6. Oh, that's a good bat. He had a real go at that one outside off stump. He must have hit the middle of the bat because that's a pretty long boundary.
So it was extremely well hit. It's made a mess of Phil Simmons' figures. He's been keeping it down to about 1 run and over.
Hughes now is about to face the music. And the music is coming in the form of Ambrose. Yes, that's it. Out caught behind. Big nick there. And a nicely taken catch by Williams. Diving away. Took that one two-handed. Just that wide-ish delivery which tailenders so often go after.
Seemed to slow that one up a little bit, Kirtley. Certainly carried very easily to David Williams. And a good reward there for Kirtley. Hughes out for 15, Australia 8 for 154.
It's Craig McDermott now striding out to the centre. This is his 41st test match, and it looks as if he's got a slightly bigger chest pad on this time round. If Richie Richardson wanted to, he could take the new ball from the southern stand end. Bringing his fielders up now to try and save the one so that McDermott will be on strike. In the air and wide of slip. And that'll bring up his 50 as the ball goes bouncing into the fence. So Damien Martin scores his first 50 in Test cricket. Hopefully the first of many.
Yes, he's 4 boundaries there, all scored behind the wicket. I suppose the one there on the onside, you could give that a square of the wicket, but basically behind the wicket, the boundaries.
He's hit that one straight to square leg. That's the end of McDermott. Short delivery and straight to Arthurton, who's trying to stay out of the way, but he caught it no trouble at all.
Yes, you wouldn't mind that because it came right off the toe of the bat. Craig McDermott can go back and chalk the cue because that's where it hit, right on the toe end of the bat. And Australia have lost their 9th wicket for 167.
Michael Whitney is the new batsman. He faced 4 balls without scoring in the first innings.
Come back to 2 here as well. Good bit of running. Doubt there'll be 2 on this occasion. Michael Whitney has pushed them, and that's exactly what they've done. One thing you can learn from that wagon wheel is that Michael's played very straight. Michael Whitney has been moved to play the hook shot, or his version of it. Down there amongst the litter, Ian Bishop finds the ball amongst the loose cups. And Michael Whitney does a lap of on it. He's pulling every shot out of the kit bag now. A lofted straight drive, the hook shot. And another 3 runs.
get the feeling now that there's not so much urgency with the West Indies in picking up this last wicket.
That's in the air. That's run out. What a fantastic performance and a great try to catch Damien Martin there from Richie Richardson. Brought the ball down, it got to the ground, it wasn't able to hang on to the catch, but recovered very quickly to get the ball back to the bowler, Carl Hooper, to take the bails off and put an end to not only to Michael Whitney's best ever Test innings, but an end to the Australian innings.
That's a very good performance from the Australians, in keeping with what they would have set out to do at the start of the day. Round about 200 in their second innings, and they have a lead of 358 now. That should be out of reach of the West Indians, but you can never tell with Richie Richardson and his team. They're a wonderful attacking side. 67 for Damien Martin, fine performance from him, and 42 from Mark Taylor. Everyone got into the act there with the wickets except Carl Hooper, who only bowled 2.4 overs. Ambrose bowled well, so did Bishop. 3 for 45 in 20 overs and 5 maidens, and Courtney Walsh 2 for 42, Phil Simmons 2 for 34. So 358 the lead, and we'll be back in a moment for the start of the West Indian innings. .359 runs the West Indies need if they're to win this Test match. And that's a ferocious delivery from Craig McDermott. Well, he's done it again, Craig McDermott. He's found the spot. There'll be runs here for Desi Haynes. There's no one at third man. Comfortably back for 3. So Alan Border retrieves. That's a good shot from Phil Simmons. Nice on drive, which Mike Whitney is doing the chasing on. And again, 3 runs. Merv Hughes mean as ever, coming in for his second over. Oh, that's got him now. That's well bowled by Merv Hughes. Desmond Haynes unable to do anything about this. Again, it's a little bit of extra bounce. Desmond Haynes fishing a little bit outside the off stump, but the Australians have struck. And that's the first West Indies wicket to fall in the second innings.
Very peculiar bounce there again from Merv Hughes, but it was a very good line. Desmond Haynes would have had difficulty not playing at that one. Australia get their first wicket. The most experience of the West Indian batsmen has gone. It's now 1 for 9 West Indies.
And it's the captain, Richie Richardson, who strides out at number 3.
The West Indians that are watching here, but all of you watching through BBC6 in Trinidad and Tobago and all around the Caribbean will be hoping that this is his day.
He's thumped that through cover. That's a fine shot, got to go all the way. It's his natural game to hit the half volley hard. Hooks that away beautifully. Get forward, I don't think. Big nerves coming around. It's into the gutter. Well, he's a good hooker. He placed that one well because there was a man deep and a man just behind backward square. What a shot. That wasn't from the Scots College of Coaching. That was a superb square cut. It was a fraction short and wide, and Richardson launched onto the back foot.
So this is the last ball of the day.
Well, there it is, at the end of the 4th day. The West Indies 1 for 32.
West Indies did well to lose only 1 there, and what a beast of a ball it was that got Desmond Haynes, magnificently bowled by Merv Hughes. Haynes out 2 beauties from Hughes in the 2 innings he's played in this match. 14 for Simmons and 12 for Richardson. They didn't look too uncomfortable out there. 1 for 32, so they've taken that number of runs off the 358 lead the Australians had. And the 1 wicket goes to Merv Hughes, who's had a pretty good time here in this MCG test. 6 overs, 2 maidens, and 1 for 7. A great day in store on the last day. The West Indies don't look as though now they're going to go for the runs, but it will be very tight and tense, I can assure you. Again, not a place for the faint-hearted. Look forward to having you with us tomorrow. Welcome to the highlights of the final day of the 2nd test at the MCG between Australia and the West Indies. We've had 4 very good days, hopefully another one in store. We're just bringing you up to date now with what's happened so far in the match. First of all, the Australians made 395 with that partnership between War and Border, 112 and 110 for them, bringing 204 runs. Very, very important in the context of the game. The West Indies, in turn, 233. Excellent innings there from Brian Lara, 52, Keith Atherton, 71, and Jimmy Adams making his debut against Australia, 47. Australia held together yesterday by Mark Taylor, 42, and Damien Martin unbeaten on 67. A very good knock there and a good effort from Merv Hughes down the bottom, 196 all out, and that was a lead of 358. And the West Indians had wiped off 32 of that by stumps. The not-out batsmen, Simmons 14 and Richardson 12. 1 or 2 showers in the Melbourne area very early on, but the forecast was good for this final day. Bear in mind that the Australians need to take another 9 wickets and West Indies need to make a lot of runs, and even if they make 50 runs per 100 balls, that would still only be 270 in the day, with 90 overs scheduled to be bowled. That is a minimum. We join play now in the 3rd over. It's gone on to 1 for 34. Hughes is the bowler. He's coming in to bowl to Richardson. Your commentators, Mrs. Gregg and Laurie.
He's a magnificent batsman. He was born in 5 Islands.
Took that away between the 2 men, a deep square leg and deep fine leg. That's probably the best hook shot we've seen this match. It was control, it was hit straight to the ground. Hit with tremendous timing and power. It's McDermott from the members' end. Well, that was a nasty one. He was squared up, took off a bit, but Richardson well behind it, but missed the bat, crashed through into the body.
That's well run. And 50 comes up for the West Indies. That's a good shot. Looked like it may have been a change of mind, but it was very delicate. And it's brought to Richie Richardson a boundary with the late cut. Shades of Alan Kippax there, Rich. That's pretty well hit. Just 1 bounce and into the boundary, but I don't think Shane Warne would be unhappy to see that shot. 30 to Phil Simmons, 27 to Richie Richardson. 14 overs have been bowled so far. That was the 23-yarder from Merv Hughes. But it's gone a touch more than 23 yards off the bat.
What's 23 divided by 6? 6 threes are 18. A few left over. Merv can work that out on his way back.
Merv delivered it from well behind the crease. It wasn't just to make sure that he didn't bowl a no ball. It was for a bit of variety. Well, it certainly woke up the spectators there in the red seats. Well, finally Phil Simmons gets through the 30s, and he's done it in spectacular fashion with a 6 and a 4.
And Mark Waugh comes on for a bowl at the southern end and gets the treatment from Phil Simmons. It's going to run away down towards the third man boundary. Might not just make it. Damien Martin doing the chasing. Phil Simmons will still get 4. He's just had to run him. That's gone again. That's hit very hard indeed by Phil Simmons. This time for sure he won't be having to run those 4 runs. Damien Martin will just be fetching it back. A bit of breath to spare this time. Phil Simmons is 1 away from what would be a maiden Test match 50. It'll be Shane Warne at the members' end bowling to Phil Simmons. And that's 50 for Phil Simmons. That'll be a big relief to Phil Simmons. Spent a number of Test matches now looking for an elusive 50. Playing currently his 10th Test match for the West Indies. 4 runs here for Richie Richardson. Very good sweep shot. Merv Hughes having a bit of divot trouble at deep square leg. Might not actually help Merv Hughes a lot. There could be a bit of pain involved there too.
Seemingly a message came out at the latter stage of that last over. I've been to tell him to get his head down and make sure he goes on with it. He went on with it with the one with the red line over the boundary there.
And he's got on with that one too. Onto the back foot very quickly, Richie Richardson. Never slow to get on the hook or the pull.
It's got Phil Simmons playing shots. Might be now what brings him undone.
And there's another shot. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. That's hit a long, long way. That's gone deep over long off. There's 6 more to Phil Simmons.
Well, Simmons doesn't mind playing his shots. I'm not sure if that's another zonger.
He smashed that one through the offside, and despite the fact that they've got off the side over there, he's gone straight through the gap and into the fence for 4. One bounce, and that's his 50. So the West Indian captain, with a slightly risky little thick edge there, which bounced way short of the first fieldsman, has chalked up his 50. Well, that's over the top, and boy, when he hits them, they stay hit. Into the fence she goes, yet another boundary. Oh, when he's bowled him, that has just beaten the outside edge. It also kept a little bit low, but Richie Richardson was looking very comfortable, and all of a sudden, Shane Warne struck. What a wicket this is for Australia. He looked very, very watchful as he played down the line. Let's have another look at it.
This ball kept very low indeed. Pitched off stump, kept low and hit off stump. But Richie Richardson goes. The end of a very good partnership for the West Indies. It's now 2 for 143.
Welcome back. Brian Lara is the new batsman. Just 4 test matches, and what a time to come in. Down the leg side. Oh. Standing in his crease. And Whitney just getting a little stirred up.
Got in! Boone again! That's probably the best one, because he really hit that, Brian Lara. And David Boone at about 6-metre mark took that beauty.
Another great reflex catch here by David Boone. Brian Lara will be very disappointed. Wasn't necessarily a bad shot. Ball pitched up, just moving into him. He's whipped it off his pads. As Bill said, he likes to play his shots. Fortunately, this time he might have hit it well, but he hit it straight at David Boone at that short leg position. And we've seen so many times before from David Boone. He has great reflexes, and he's done it again. But Brian Lara is out for 4. The West Indies now starting to struggle, 3 for 148.
Keith Atherton makes his way to the crease. It's well placed, it's in the air, well fielded. Atherton just back, that would have been out, I think. There was that Damien Martin. Picked it up beautifully on the run, shied at the stumps and just missed. By Steve Randell at the southern end. Brooks, just the single down to Matthews. And that finds a gap. When you're running hot, you're running hot. There's a nice educated dab there. A little bit of bounce from Whitney. This is a dangerous third run. And that's good running by. He's a good athlete, Simmons. He's big, but he's quick.
I think that was one of the beauties of Damien Martin's performance yesterday. Perhaps no gremlins in his mind about the Melbourne wicket. Just went out and played his normal game.
Stumped. Yes, beat him. Beautiful piece of work by Healy. That's fine bowling by young Shane Warne. Well supported by Healy. Enticed him down the wicket, beat him in flight and turn. And the West Indies now on the back foot.
West Indies in definite trouble now. Keith Atherton showing some lack of experience here. Not the sort of shot to play in a test match in a tight situation. Alan Border had brought the field up, and I think that was a good move. Try and encourage Keith Atherton to take some risks if he wanted to. He took the risk. He's paid the ultimate penalty. He's on his way for 13. The West Indies are 4 for 165.
Carl Hooper comes out. Disappointing effort that by Keith Atherton in the end to try and hit the leg spinner out of the ground. It was really a slog in the end. He lost control of the bat. Tried to hit it too hard. Maybe the fact that Border had the man at long off. He tried to hit this over long on. And the head goes in the air and he's out by a mile. As Healy has the bails off in a flash.
I think Rowan Canai and Richie Richardson might have been waiting for Keith Atherton when he got in. Perhaps not straight away, but at some stage this afternoon there might be a little conversation between the team coach and Keith Atherton.
taking a bit of a risk with a man at square leg and a man out at deep square leg as well.
Nicely played away on the offside. And 3 runs. Simmons and Cooper.
At the southern end, Merv Hughes returns to the attack.
Get plenty there because the man has had to come from cover point to retrieve it. They're going to look for 4. And we'll get it. Plenty of runs available because Ford has the men up. Warren won't mind if he comes down and hits him over the top. Oh, Carl. Beaten off the pitch by Shane Warne. No timing there for Carl Hooper. And Shane Warne has got in again.
This is a big disappointment for all concerned here for the West Indies, for Carl Hooper. Didn't get hold of this ball at all well. That's actually quite a good catch from Mike Whitney. Had to make good ground to get to it. They're very bright blue, clear skies here at the MCG today, but judged it well. Carl Hooper trying to hit this ball over mid-wicket is out for a duck. Daddles accompanies him off the field. West Indies are now 5 for 177.
Jimmy Adams played very well in the first innings. He's not on strike at the moment. Phil Simmons is. They crossed with that fateful non-run. Carl Hooper was out. And they'll take a single for that. Shane Warne's been getting a lot of movement in the air, a lot of drift from off stump to leg stump today. Phil Simmons 2 away from 100. It'll be one of the best you've seen here at the MCG in many a day. Here's Merv Hughes. There it is. And a very, very nice stroke with which to reach that milestone. Very, very good innings from Phil Simmons. Genuine delight there. A wonderful ovation.
He's a lovely man, Phil Simmons. It's been a long time for him to wait for this moment. He's going to treasure that for some time. A very modest character too.
No idea where it went. Fielder at cover.
He's looking for it on his left-hand side. In fact, it finished up going away on the right.
Simmons has picked the gaps extremely well in this innings. Adams beats the well-packed offside field. .110 to Simmons. Catch, and he's hit it straight to David Byrne at mid-wicket. And a little bit of curve once again, maybe through the air, has defeated Phil Simmons. He can be pleased with his century, but he'll be annoyed at getting out at this stage in the match.
There you see the drift in the air, going down the leg side, but the spinning brings it back in towards Phil Simmons, and he just succeeds in pushing it into David Boone's hands. A very, very good innings by Phil Simmons, but he will be disappointed, as Ian Tucker says. West Indies now 6 for 198.
David Williams, who got a first ball duck in the first innings, and the situation after 2 tests, showing that the team that wins the first one certainly hasn't been beaten in the series. It'll be a boundary. 200 comes up with that boundary to Jimmy Adams. Shouts of catch it, but I think it's come off his back or the back of his arm. Jimmy Adams certainly turned his back on the delivery.
And that one's flayed through the offside field there, through the gap, in fact, between the very wide slip and the 2 square men. Those figures in the first column after the second test. Hence the question mark right down at the bottom. In the air and caught. Straight to Taylor, and he has a magnificent pair of hands. That was very low. It went very quickly as well. But the Australians know this ground very well. They're standing up. They know the ball doesn't carry. Have a look at it.
Jimmy Adams, a regulation nick going down, but as Tony said, the wicketkeeper and the slip standing a lot closer because they know the nature of the wicket and what happens as the game gets on. Jimmy Adams, always looking a bit vulnerable around off stump, has gone for 16. The West Indies really in trouble now, 7 for 206.
Lynn Bishop is the new batsman. In the air, gone. Caught it short extra. Out for a pair. And 5 wickets to Shane Warne. That was a beautiful bit of bowling. He pitched it up just a little slower, went for the drive, and it went straight to extra cover. Mark Waugh standing there, and this is a bad feeling, I want you to know. A duck in each innings in any test match. It's a long way to go out, all the way out there and back twice for nothing. Curtly Ambrose is out there. While we've seen him hit some big hits, I'm afraid he's not in great nick at the moment. Oh, he's hit that one. We had a real go at it. Didn't hit it off the meat of the bat. It went flying down towards third man, so that'll be 4 as well. And I think McDermott may have had a little word in his ear as he went past him, because Ambrose did pause and turned his head in his direction. 8 for 219. Shane Warne again, bowling his leg spinners. And straight to slip. That's the end of him. Well bowled, Shane Warne. Magnificent bowling, that one. Turn, hit the edge, straight to Taylor. And really for him it was a pretty straightforward catch. So Shane Warne now has 6.
Shane Warne getting some turn again, pitching outside leg stump. Ian Bishop trying to smother it as much as possible. The bounce and the turn was too much for him. Thick edge off the shoulder. Comfortable catch to Mark Taylor. Ian Bishop has gone for 7, and so are the West Indies at 9 for 219. Courtney Walsh replaces Ian Bishop. Australia just about to deliver the last rites for the West Indies, and Shane Warne is the man of the day. He's taken 6 wickets for his, well and truly his best return in Test cricket. Ian Bishop playing forward, just turning the bat a little bit, trying to smother the spin, just enough to get an outside edge. Mark Taylor would be happy if they were all that straightforward at first slip. It's a delighted Shane Warne and Australian teammates as the West Indies are on the ropes. And that could be the end of the Test match. 7 wickets for Shane Warne. Big Merv's got great hands. He won't miss it. And there it is. A great victory for Australia and a tremendous day's work for Shane Warne. His best bowling ever in first-class cricket. And what a time to do it, and what a place to do it in front of his own crowd here at the MCG. Congratulations from all round, and so it should be. Shane Warne has one of the stumps under his arm as a memento of one of his great days on the cricket field. Australia go to a 1-0 lead after 2 Test matches here in the 5-match series. Shane Warne tosses it up. Courtney Walsh delivers it to Merv Hughes. Big Merv has got big hands and very good hands as well in the forward pocket. Never going to miss one of those. So the Melbourne viewers join us to find out that Big Merv has taken the final catch. Shane Warne has taken 7 wickets. Australia has won comfortably here in the 2nd Test match at the MCG. Alan Border played his part with a magnificent 100, as did Mark Waugh. It was that partnership, some superior fielding by the Australians, a much better batting effort, and a fine bowling performance by Shane Warne. 7 for 52 with the bowling figures as he leads the team off.
And that catch by Merv Hughes meant the West Indies were out for 219. A tremendous performance from the Australians there after West Indies looked as though they might just have saved it at one stage when Simmons and Richardson were batting. Good innings from Richie Richardson, the skipper. A lovely knock from Phil Simmons, who's one of the nicest of men and thoroughly deserves a century. 110 for him. The others fell away. They were no match for the Australians towards the end, and the bowling figures reflect precisely what happened with the Australians. McDermott 1 for 66, bowled better than that. Hughes 1 for 41. He's been a marvel in this match, Merv Hughes. Whitney 1 for 32, and Shane Warne 23.2 overs, 8 maidens, and 7 for 52. Mark Waugh bowled his 3 overs, and Shane Warne was man of the match with 1 for 65 and 7 for 52. A terrific effort from him, something he'll remember for the whole of his life. And so too will the Australians who are in this side, which defeated West Indies at the MCG. They have another opportunity coming up, and West Indies could get back to 1-1 in the series in that Test match at the SCG, January 2-6. Ticketek for tickets 02 266 4800. I can assure you that if the cricket in that Test match matches the one here at the MCG and the one at the Gabba, then we're